We're live!
All right. I see we have Plaza Vista here with Scott. Please start the broadcast to select a question.
We are selecting a question.
Selecting a question. We started the broadcast.
Hit that drop down.
So delete question.
It's not a question. I think it's all that I wrote. 0 viewers.
Could you go see if it's playing over on your computer?
I can try.
Thank you.
Sure.
All right.
Well, we're going to record it, so if people don't get to watch right now, they can watch it later. Oh, 1 viewer.
All right.
We're acquiring
We got
viewers.
John.
Hey, John.
We got Scott. Now it's working.
There we go.
2 viewers, Scott and
We're
John.
growing in size. 3,
All right. 3 viewers.
5.
So you're 6.
We're pretty popular right now.
Cards.
All right. Now this is recording, so anyone that misses the beginning is going to be able to watch it.
And this is magic right here.
This
So
is amazing.
they're going to want to watch all of this.
All right, we've
Look
got
at Jen
10.
jumping.
We've got 10, so I say when we get to 11, we will start.
Oh,
Oh.
down.
We just lost 2 viewers.
You just jinxed it.
Now we got
12. Let's go. All
right.
right, here we go.
Thank you guys for joining us. I'm excited because Serena was asking me last week about us wrapping the year up, and we were, a little concerned about how do we get the teachers at a meeting end of the year. It's only about a half an hour, and Serena thought about Google Hangouts. We've done a couple of these this year, and I just think, I could see us doing more of these, especially with 60 people in a cohort. I think this is a lot easier for you in your classroom to do this than doing it somewhere else. I see Jenny has posted that there's a wheel of death with the loading. So hopefully, if you guys are joining us late, once again, you're gonna be able to see this on as a recorded video on YouTube, so you can catch up with any of that.
And I'll send that link out after we're done here today, so you will be able to access it.
Okay. All right. So I think the goal of today is to talk to you. You can ask questions down the side. I'll have Serena both of us will kind of moderate that as we're going. So we are answering questions. It says, sorry, Oak Creek can't get up and running. So we'll once again, we'll have to see what's happening with those of you that can't get in. But the point of this call is to discuss what we expect you to do with the carts at the end of the year, and kind of what choices you have. Are you allowed to take home a Chromebook to practice with over the summer? All of that type of stuff. And East Shore is having difficulty seeing the video. Can you guys hear me okay at least? If you can't see the video, can you hear my voice okay?
Allison Cole, can you respond if you can hear us? I see you said hi from Deerfield, so can you throw into the question that you can...
It's working now from Jenny Fritz. Okay. I think it's just we're getting too many questions now.
Hello from Stonegate.
Hi, Stonegate. We have 22 viewers now.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I'm assuming they can hear us.
Yeah. All right.
Alrighty.
So I cleared out the questions. As questions come in, yes,
Yeah,
we can hear
okay,
you.
perfect.
Yep, perfect.
Hi, Jeffrey Terriel.
Thank you, guys. That's
Springbrook.
helping guide us right now. All right, 3:34. We have 25 minutes.
Let's do this.
Let's make this happen. Okay, so it's the end of the year. You have your Chromebook carts. There's a couple things we want you to do. First of all, we want to make sure that you understand that you don't need to keep your Chromebooks charging over the summer. So we've put together a document, and I'm going to share my screen. Is that over here on the?
Yeah, green. Up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Screen share.
And then, yep.
Perfect. All right. So what we want you to do is, can you click select so it clears questions? What we want you to do is you're going to power down all of your devices. You're going to unplug the cart from the wall. When you open up the cart, take a picture of all the devices in the cart. So all of your slots, you have 40 slots. You have 40 Chromebooks. Take a picture so that you see that every Chromebook is in there. All right. You can take multiple pictures if you want. But essentially, we want to make sure that you can say, I left, and there were all the Chromebooks were in there when I left at the end of the year. You have one lock in the front. We understand that the back is accessible. If you have another lock, great. If not, that back area is really just power. And it's very, very difficult to get back there and unplug and get to the Chromebooks. Once again, if you don't feel comfortable, you are more than welcome to buy a lock. Just when the year starts, we would need to know the combination of that lock if you're going to share that with us. Take that cart and put it in the corner. And the reason why we want you to move it to someplace is when the custodian's cleaning your room, we don't want the custodian to be worried about moving the cart around. So if you can put it someplace where it feels like it's out of the way during that cleanup. And then last option is if you want to take home a Chromebook. I know for myself, with my daughter, I didn't really see the use of Chromebooks really in action until my daughter, till we got her a Chromebook, and she started going back and forth, and we saw her using the Chromebook at home. I think as a teacher, if you feel comfortable that you have a device with your child and you feel comfortable, you are welcome to take that home. But we do have an AUP we want you to sign. And that AUP is this, and we've left it so it's editable. All of you can
Looks
now
like some people are in there
add
already.
some things. Some of you are in there already. But this is, we figured this was kind of the feeling you get when you make your classroom rules with your students. By everyone having buy-in, you can all agree to what we decided to do with the Chromebook cards.
And if you're wondering where to get access to this, this is in the One-to-One Innovation Grant Google Classroom. I put it there just kind of as like a single location. I'll also add this to the Canvas course as well, though. But you can see it is the first one there at the top, Chromebook Take Home AUP. So you can just click on it, and then you have editing rights to jump in.
Once again, you have editing rights. So if you want to take this, if you like the idea of this and you want to make a copy of it, feel free to. But this is really for teachers, not for students. So this is your agreement that you will take good overall care of the device. You won't leave the device unattended. You're going to note where the device is at all times. You're not going to disassemble any part of the device or attempt any repairs. You will use your device in ways that are appropriate, meet professional expectation, and adhere to the IUSD Technology Acceptable Use Agreement. So in other words, the device is really for school. We don't want you using the device for a lot of personal gaming or banking and that type of stuff. You're really using it to see, okay, I found a new app. What's this going to look like on a Chromebook? You're not going to put decorations on these Chromebooks, and you're not going to deface the barcode or serial number on the device. I do know some people that have been putting their class name in it. I heard someone was using a permanent marker to put their class name. We're still even kind of be careful about that. We're not going to ding you for doing that, but as some of you know already, you're switching sites. So those devices are not switching with you. So if you use a Sharpie and you put, Linville 1, and I switch to another site, those Chromebooks stay at the site.
Or if you have done that already and you're using the oil-based Sharpie markers that are like the paint pens, those are okay because they wipe off of the Clorox wipe, but you're going to be responsible for removing any of those marks if you leave them at your school site or leave them behind.
Yeah. And once again, if you're sitting there on the end of this presentation going, don't freak out. We'll talk with you and we'll make sure that it works out. The device is property of IUSD. You're going to be responsible for all damage or loss caused by neglect or abuse. So that's the big one right there. If your Chromebook breaks, we're hoping that this device, which costs $220, $240, that's going to be on your hands to replace. If you don't feel comfortable with that, just don't take the Chromebooks home. Leave the Chromebooks in the classroom. Don't take them home for the summer.
And then eventually, or I think probably by next week, I'd like to take whatever edits you guys have made to this or added to it and turn it into a Google form that I'm going to be sending out to all of you. So if you would like to take it home, you can fill out the Google form as like a responsible use agreement saying over the summer, I agree to these terms of use. And then you can take one home to practice and build curriculum, things like that. So feel free to make any revisions that you'd like to this, and then whatever final draft we come up with, I will be sending out in a form and kind of like a digital signature, so to speak, next week.
And if you don't feel comfortable changing it, you can always highlight and then just insert a comment. That way that comment will go off to the side and you're not really changing this, but we will be going to file.
Go into suggesting mode, and then we'll see the changes. Drop down editing right there.
Thank you.
Suggesting.
So edits become
So
suggestions.
now if you make a backspace, it'll cross that out, like if you delete that. but it tells you who made it. So
That's the new feature. They just added that. All right. So I agree to return the device, charger, and power cord in good working condition. So the charger and power cord is what we usually lose a lot of. So make sure that, if you're going to take your Chromebook home, make sure you keep these all together. And then I understand and agree the stipulations set forth in the above RUP. RUP stands for Responsible Use Policy. And then you're going to print your name and sign it. We'll probably allow for a digital signature. I'm looking at Bree right now, who's in the room. Yeah, you
As
won't
long
need.
as you're collecting the username on the form.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can do digital signature. You don't have to write it with a pen and bring it into the district office.
we have a good question coming from Kristen Jackson. Should we tell the staff to do this with other cards that were not awarded through the grant? Bree?
Yes, so if anybody is going to be taking the device home, it's best practice for doing this as well. So that includes if teachers are using, for example, the assessment carts that were deployed earlier this year, to do that kind of, to be able to take home and build curriculum, same thing applies.
So Jeanette Clem is signing this. Remember, this is the original one right now, so this is not the one we're sending out, but we appreciate your feedback right away. So we'll go through and clean this up if that's changing.
Thanks for jumping in, Jeanette.
We appreciate that. All right.
And thanks, Kristen, for asking the question. All right.
So next on the agenda, we have.
What do they do if they're moving schools?
Yeah, what do I do if I'm moving schools? So we have spoke with Bob Curley and John Pearson, and I'm gonna let Bree add to the conversation she's had with them.
So if you are moving schools, your cart stays at the school you're currently at. When we did these grants, about half of the grant was awarded based on the quality of the application and the other half based on equity. So the overall, you cannot take the cart with you if you are moving schools. However, we have made arrangements if you're going to one of the two new schools. Both John Pearson and Bob Curley have committed to, supplemented by some resources at the district, be able to allow you to teach one-to-one in a Chromebook environment when you arrive at Portola or Beacon Park. If you are going to a site other than Portola or Beacon Park, just send an email to Chris and Serena and we'll see what we can do and maneuver between a couple of principals.
All right. So reminder for requirement for submitting lessons. I'll let you take that, Serena.
Okay. So this is, I wrote insert link and then I didn't insert link. I'll do that before I send this agenda back out to you guys. The link is also in Canvas though on our main page. This is just a reminder for you guys. I've had a lot of lessons get submitted since my last email. I think it was like a couple weeks ago. Make sure that you've submitted at least 2 lessons before the school year ends. And please make sure that they're Common Core aligned, and please be also as detailed as possible. I am going through them and I've been kind of shooting off little emails here and there. Just to a few of you, I know some of them most of them are amazing and you guys are doing a great job. So I really appreciate the time that you're putting into those. Just make sure though that for the instructional strategies piece and the resource section that you're including as much detail as possible, and also copies of whatever resources you'd like to be sharing. Digital copies are great. You can host anything you'd like in Google Drive, for example. But also just making sure that if someone has never been one-to-one before or has never taught in a one-to-one environment or not even taught your lesson before, they'd be able to read that and be able to go forth and apply it to their own teaching. So just be thinking of that as you write them. And we have a question. If we wrote a team grant, can we collaborate on our lessons? That's fine with me. If you guys are teaching the same courses, grade levels, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, we just, a team grant, let's say there were 3 of you on a team grant, we still need 3 different lessons. So you would be responsible as 3 to turn in 3 lessons, but you can collaborate together on those 3 lessons. In fact, that's okay across this cohort. With 60 of you in the cohort, if you and another teacher just hit it off, yeah, you two can both collaborate on your lessons and just do 2 lessons together. I mean, I think that would be much more fun to meet up with another teacher and make 2 lesson plans together than to do one on your own.
if we are part of the last cohort this year, do we submit 1 or 2 lessons before the end of the year? Oh, gotcha. So cohort, you're right. Thank you, Rochelle. Cohort 1, and I'll make that change on the agenda. Cohort 1 is responsible for 2 lessons since they had a head start, and then cohort 2 is just responsible for the last lesson that I just sent on that email. So one more time. Cohort 1, 2 lessons. Cohort 2, 1 lesson. And I'll make that change on the agenda. So anything else about that? I think that's it.
Okay.
And I'll make those changes on here before I send out the agenda for everyone.
Just real quick, I feel silly asking, why does it say present to everyone and this is stop? Are you guys seeing our screencast right now? Are you seeing that, or are you seeing me?
Hit present to everyone and see what happens.
All right. Is this the first time you guys are seeing our agenda?
No way. Video won't load.
Wait, I submitted a lesson today, but it didn't show up in the repository yet. Does it take a while to go to the repository?
No.
So that was Kim Anthony.
Kim, I'll look for yours today. I'm coming up with a better way to sort them. I don't want it to live in a Google Sheet. It looks ugly and it's hard to read. So over this, I'm already taking some time to export those, and you guys have access to all of those in a better way to view them.
Okay.
It'll be another round of 1-to-1 next year. Not at this time.
It's not funded at this time. We are hoping that as budget numbers become available, if there's any one-time money that shakes out again, that we would be able to direct it toward a second wave of grants. But right now, it's not looking like that's highly likely at all.
So you can see it.
Good.
Okay.
All right. So we have
another question.
Down here with Scott and
Can we submit a tutorial screencast videos with simplified lesson plans? That's fine with me as long as the content is clearly identified in the screencast, and if I watch it, I can get an idea of it. As long as there's a basis of the other elements of the lesson plan written out, that's really fine with me.
Okay, I have here that the sound is a little funky. You sound like an old 80s stereo. That might be because I grew up in the 80s, and that's why I sound like an old 80s stereo. All right, once again, if you don't hear what's going on here, you missed out on something, please let us know, and we can do an individual conversation with you. Hopefully the agenda and my voice is good enough for you to follow. I see the Google Doc and I see you too, but the sound suddenly went really bad. All right, so we're having sound up.
We have faces for radio, Chris. I think that's what they're trying to tell us.
Your sound went south. I can see the agenda and hear you very well. The video won't load for us at Stone Creek. We've been having a problem all day. We're sorry, Serene. Once again, hopefully you can watch the YouTube video later tonight at home, or hopefully you can connect it with it tomorrow. All right.
Want to talk next year?
So yeah, expectations for next year.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so we use the Brightbyte survey, and the data in the Brightbyte survey has been great. I'm hoping to see some big changes happen in the next year with the Brightbytes data. What we're looking for is the ability to look at one section on the Brightbyte survey that asks about how teachers use the 4 C's. And the 4 C's is creativity, collaboration, critical thinking, critical thinking, and I just said
collaboration, critical thinking, creativity, and communication.
Communication, thank you. So there are questions in the Brightbyte survey that ask whether we're doing that in the classroom, and we have examples of that. And what we're hoping is that when we do our lessons next year, we're going to focus on the 4 C's, because we want to show the district. Everyone keeps talking about the 4 C's, but what does it really look like in the classroom? And what does it look like when you embed technology in a one-to-one environment? How does that improve on the 4 C's? So we're going to do a PLC day at the beginning of the school year to discuss the 4 C's, kind of the why we're doing this, why we're doing one-to-one in the classroom. It's not about just adding technology to the classroom. All of you that applied for the application know that we did this because the big why is, how does technology engage students in learning, and how seamless can we make technology feel in the classroom? And we want to see examples of that next year.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the data. We're looking for the improved classroom instruction, how we're working on our best practices and how that's translating into improved student outcomes. So that will be announced so you guys can get a sub day at the start of the new school year. All right, and then last few minutes, I'm wanting to talk about our kind of end of year reflection. So if you've gone into Google Classroom, if you'll click over, there we go. Alrighty, so in Google Classroom, I've linked out to the Chromebook RUP, the Hangout link, obviously you've already received that, and then this assignment right here. So right now, we have 0 of 68 done, which is fine because I just posted it, and you don't have the directions yet. So if you click on this, it will automatically create a copy for you, and it will be shared back into Google, and then once you're done, top right-hand corner will be a big blue button that says Turn It In. And when you are finished with the assignment, you can just click that button. It will set an embargo on your document, so you won't be able to access it while it's turned in, but that'll give me time to kind of go through them, and then I can release it back to you if you'd like to make any changes. And that's great way to kind of experience what it's like to use Google Classroom as a student, kind of a student perspective. But really the purpose of this is to kind of get feedback on the program so far, and really give you some time to reflect on what it was like to be one-to-one at the end of the school year.
So let me answer a question, and I want to get back to this. So the question was, is there going to be a spot on the Google form to identify the 4 C's? Yes, we'll have that for your lesson plan.
It'll just be a drop down. You won't have to type anything.
Okay, so back to this whole thing when we talked about doing a Google Hangout. The concern that we have, and you guys probably do as teachers too sometimes, is how do you know a student on the other end is engaged? How do you know people are listening? How do you know someone's not currently checking their email right now, or maybe has this muted and realize there's an agenda on there? Oh, someone just asked, where is today's
I'm going
agenda?
to be sending in an email shortly.
It's in the Google Classroom, but if they go out into Google
The
Classroom,
agenda is not in there.
oh, it's not.
No.
Okay, thank you.
So Jeanette, the agenda is coming.
So Serena and I talked about how can we make sure you're engaged, and it was, okay, do we ask questions in the Hangouts? Then we're keeping track of that. But one of the things that we thought of was with Google Classroom, if we give you an assignment and we prompt you with the questions in this Hangout, we're going to know who's listening and who's going to be responding to that. So right now, if you can open up the Google Classroom assignment, you guys should all be in there. And we're going to have you write down the questions for the assignment. So if you go here and click on the assignment here, end of the year reflection assignment, it should open up a Google Doc.
Well, it won't on mine.
Not on it because you're the teacher, but for someone else, it would open up a Google Doc. And then what you're going to write is, I'm going to go ahead and just do bullet points so they can see. Questions. What did you make?
They're in that agenda.
Oh, they're in the agenda?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Okay, so go ahead and write down these questions right now in your assignment. What went well? What were your challenges? What advice would you give someone going to one-to-one in the future? And then how can we help support you next year? Each one of these bullet points, 2 to 3 sentences. So when we're done, you've got about 4 paragraphs. Should take less than a Google Doc. And then what we're doing with this, and as you saw, Bree's in the office with us right now, Bree is reporting out the cabinet all the time about this one-to-one program. She's giving updates with video. She's showing pictures. She's has shared experience from principals that are really enjoying what they're seeing. And this is just another piece of evidence that we will use that you're writing up that shows whether or not this program is working for us. And what went well? What were your challenges? What advice would you give someone going one-to-one in the future? And how can we help support you next year? This will be timestamped for us in Google Doc and Google Classroom. So we're going to know, that you attended this session. We have currently 30 viewers out of our 60 that are in the pilot. Yeah. So we know that there are 30 that did not attend the session yet. So they're going to have to do this from the YouTube video. For those that don't end up doing this, we're going to have to reach out and find out what the issue is.
And some of them were watching as teens.
And some of them were watching as teens.
I wanted to add, I just had an idea as Chris was talking. If you would like to record your students giving feedback about what went well and what the challenges were, and just throw that audio, video, whatever, into Google Drive and just link out to it to answer these questions. That'd be a really cool way for us to get feedback also from the students. So it doesn't just have to be a typed paragraph. You can be creative with it if you'd like to. So just something to think about.
I like that a lot. So yeah, so we've had a lot of those questions where we'll put something out and we'll say, oh, here's a traditional Google Doc, and then someone else will come back with a video. Like, what if we do this with video? We're very open to that. I think showing, kind of the newer ways that we can leverage technology for assignments like that, we expect that out of our students. Hopefully, we're doing the same with you.
Yes, Erin just asked, you said just a few sentences for each. Yes. Just kind of whatever you feel answers the question to the best of your ability, or like I said, feel free to throw in like a video or something that you create if you want to for the answer of each of those questions. So what went well, what were your challenges, what advice would you give someone in the future going one-on-one, and then how can we help better support you next year, what more do you need in the future?
Can you repeat the fourth question? The fourth question is, how can we help support you next year?
If we were part of the one-on-one Google Classroom, but now it is not visible, can we get the access code? Yes. Go to my classroom. If you need the access code to Google Classroom,
Let me show my screen.
Okay. Access code right now. Go back on the left.
Okay, so lower, thank you.
And then on the bottom, right there, if you want to zoom in. So it is 2, lowercase w, lowercase c, 3, lowercase q, 5, lowercase I. And it's there on the bottom left of the screen if you can see it.
Okay.
I'll add the class code to the Canvas course in the discussions of the Google Classroom. I'll add the code there as well. So you can go to Canvas first, and then if you need to, it'll link out to the Google Classroom from there.
Okay.
All right, we have like 2 minutes left. Are there any remaining questions that you guys would want to add to or ask?
And the last question, how can we help support you next year? This is a new program for us as well. So if you say something like the Google Hangout was great, let's continue doing those, or if you say, I prefer to meet in person next time, we want that feedback so that we can make the program where you guys benefit. I do realize that when you do have a meeting with the 60 of you, which you guys are all amazing, the nice thing is when the meeting's done, you guys have those parking lot conversations, that PLC that happens organically with a group like this, which is great sometimes. So we would definitely, we're not trying to have you not interact with each other.
Does this program end? We're all in the process of moving our lessons over to a digital model. Will we ever lose these devices? That's from John.
So I will let Bree answer that.
Yeah, there are 2 ways that devices lose. I mean, on the natural, these devices are going to age out. We use one-time funding for this program, and so it really will ultimately be up to the site to sustain the program unless we get another influx of ongoing money to support it in the future. But right now, as we talked about the sort of economic winter that's coming our way, it really will be on the site. So just keep that in mind. The site needs to plan for it, and Chris and I, when we're meeting with principals, are going to coach them on what they need to set aside to refresh the technology when it gets out of date. The only other way where an individual could lose their cards is if you're not actively participating in the program, meeting all of those benchmarks that Chris and Sarita set out there. They put a lot of thought into trying to not make it too intrusive, to leave you as much time as possible to be innovative. But if we find that people aren't actively participating, if they're not in a sense giving back to meet the requirements of the program, we will pull the cart and work with the principal to assign it to somebody else that will actively participate, because we are looking at this as a pilot that we can scale up.
Perfect. Another question coming in from Erin. For the lesson plans, can we submit something we tried that maybe someone else has already done, or does it need to be something completely new? It does not have to be something completely new. It may be new to someone else who's reading your lesson plan at some point, but for you, if you tried it and it was successful, or you tried it and you want to do it again, and you found ways to be reflective and change things for the next time, go ahead and submit that lesson. Whatever is going to be something that you're proud of, or something that you want to showcase and share with others.
But I think what's important, though, remember we're building this repository. So if we see like 100 mystery Skypes, we're gonna have like that's 99 too many, I think. So I think the bottom line is please be aware of Serena's gonna have the repository posted.
They have it visible already, but it is hard to read right now. I know I was talking to the teachers earlier today, and they said when I scroll down, I kind of lose my place, and it's ugly in the Google Sheets, and I get that. So I'm figuring out a way to kind of move that over. But I understand if you want to kind of go in there and do like even a control find and search for maybe some terms like that are concurrent with what lesson you're going to share, then that might be a place to. Or a way to get around it. I don't know.
In Artosis, we can leverage Artosis in this next year to say, hey, go through these lesson plans. If you see 2 or 3 that are the same, let's combine them and make it into one.
One lesson. For the lesson plans, that one. Scott, could we have some sample lesson plans so we know how much detail you're looking for? Yes, I have some that I pulled even from our cohort group. I just haven't organized them yet, so I have them picked out. I just need to make them look nice.
Yes.
So yes, you guys will have sample lessons. Now that we have lessons, I have samples to choose from which to choose.
Did you correct yourself?
Yeah.
All right.
Can't have a preposition at the end. We can't leave them with that.
Once again, if you know someone that could not attend, we're going to be sending out a link with the YouTube video. And we're going to know that this video has been watched once the Google Classroom assignment is complete.
All right. When do you want the assignment?
Well, okay, so I know school's out on June 9th. So
I put June 10th as the due date, but I can change that.
Let's give you guys another week. Once again, we're not trying to give you more work. We just want to make sure everyone's involved with this, which you guys have been. So why don't we give. Oh, good. Someone said that they like the vlog ones that Darren's been doing, the frog in the vlog, where he's been talking about that. That's great. So maybe we can continue that process, or maybe someone can take that over in this next year with the cohort. Darren took on the Vlog-A-Day challenge, and he was vlogging every day and going out to sites. And he's going back to a classroom next year, so hopefully we can have a toast that wants to do that. Or one of you will stand up and say, hey, we're going to go on film. So back to the original question, let's have it due on Monday the 20th. So that should be 2 weeks to respond to 4 simple questions. I hope that's enough. Once again, Monday the 20th, we need those. So if we don't get them by then, we'll be reaching out to you asking, if you're still part of this program.
I'm going to change that on there right now. Boom, done.
I think if you were to do it today or tomorrow, it would probably be best so that you don't have to worry about school getting out and forgetting about doing it.
Wow, someone already submitted.
All right.
I'm impressed.
So the next question.
Thank you, Christina from College Park.
Okay. Do we submit the lessons through the Google form on campus?
Yes, Madeline. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Scott. These have been awesome. Oh, those have been awesome. He's talking about the videos. I think we're talking about us being awesome.
They're pretty awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, and have a great end of the year. And we'll see you year rounds. We'll see you July 13th. We'll reach out to you before the year round school starts and talk about how we can get you going at the beginning of the year. Everyone else have a great summer. Take care.
Bye.